Why overthinking kills opportunities? There is an ancient Japanese legend about a warrior who stood before a river. On the other side waited everything he had ever dreamed of: honor, freedom, a better life. But the river was violent, the current was unpredictable, the bridge had already collapsed. So he stood there thinking, what if I down? What if I am not strong enough? What if I should wait until the water becomes calm? Hours turned into days, days turned into weeks. Then something happened that changed his life forever. An old traveler walked past him. He looked at the river, smiled, and without saying word, he stepped into the water. He stumbled. He asked him back, but step after step he crossed, treading safely. The old man shuddered only one sentence. The river never became calmer. I simply became braver. That if the difference between people who transform their lives and people who spend their entire living dreaming about it, because overthinking has a strange way of disguising itself a wisdom. It whispers, think a little longer, do more research, wait until you are completely ready. Tomorrow will be a better day. It sounds responsible, it sounds intelligent, but in reality, it is fear wearing the mask of logic. The greatest person in the world is not built from steel. If it is not surrounded by walls, it exists inside the human mind, a prison where every dream is interrogated, every opportunity is questioned, and every possibility to exert it before it ever the chance of breath. Imagine planted a seed every single morning, you dig it back up just to check if it is growing. What happens? It dies, but not because the seed was fake, but because your doubt never allowed it to grow. Your dream work exactly the same way. Every time you question yourself, every time you daily, every time you wait for perfection, you pull your future out of the ground before it has a chance to become something extraordinary. Look around you. The people you admire were not fearless. They were not perfect. They were not born with special confidence. They simply made one decision that most people never make. That the exact before they felt ready. Think about the first airplane. It, if the inventors had waited for every sunset to agree, humanity might ever have flown. Think about every successful entrepreneur, every artist, every athlete, every leader. They all shared one terrifying experience. They walked into uncertainty long before certainty what toward them, because certainty is never the beginning. It is always the reward. Yet most people choose comfort, that sit in the same chair, work the same job, dream the same dream, complain about the same life year after year, not because they lack talent, but because they are waiting for permission that will never come. Listen carefully. Listen does not send invitations, it sends opportunities, and opportunities does not knock forever. They whisper once, maybe twice, then the move on the someone willing to answer. One day you will wake up and realize something painful. The opportunity did not disappear because you were not capable. It disappeared because you kept negotiating with fear. The saddest part in this, failure rarely destroys dreams. Indecision does. Failure teaches. Failure strengthens. Failure introduces you to be person you are capable of becoming, but indication it still years you will never get back. Imagine reaching a height 80 years old, sitting quietly beside a window, looking back at your life. What will hurt more? The business that failed, the speak you gave imperfectly, the risks that did not work, on the thousands of moments when fear quietly disappeared. Not today, and you listened. Your future is not waiting for the perfect version of you. It is waiting for the version of you who decides, who acts, who falls, who learns, who rises again. Remember this, the cemetery is filled with unwritten books, unbuilt companies, unsung songs, undiscovered inventions, and unlived lives, not because people lack intelligence, but because they waited too long. The world does not belong to the smartest people, it belongs to those who move while everyone else is still thinking. So make the call, start the business, write the first page, upload the first video, apply for the opportunity, take the first step, not because success is guaranteed, but because regret is one decision, one moment of courage can divide your life into two chapters, the life before you acted and the life after. The question is not whether you are ready. The question is how many opportunities are you willing to lose while waiting to feel ready? Because the truth is simple, you will never think you say into a better life. You will only act your way into one. Beyond required, stop negotiation with fear, start negotiating